not sure if we'll be taking questions, but it will be a very interesting talk nonetheless. This is just a half an hour. Usually they're about 45 minutes, but if you don't get to see enough of our next special guest, you can check him out tomorrow as well, because he will be returning. But as I mentioned, needs no introduction. His career has spanned over 70 years in film and television. He is an actor, director, author, screenwriter, and actually a musician. He's got 8 albums, did you know? Fun fact. And last year, he became the oldest person to ever travel to space. He is now a commercial astronaut. Please put your hands together for the one, the only, William Shatner.
I can't tell you how I hate that the oldest person in space. It just drives me nuts. Who are they talking about? The oldest person. What did he do? Well, he was the oldest person in space. No. Look at how many people you are. It's wonderful. Vancouver. I've been coming to Vancouver for a long time. I was here. Oh gosh, what did I do here first? You know, I've forgotten, but I used to run, I'll tell you how long ago it was. I used to run Stanley Park twice around. Yeah, 7 miles, I was doing 14 miles, and my knees gave out, so I stopped running. Then there was a time in Vancouver when there was a Indigenous people restaurant downtown near the park, where they were employing young people from the reservation. There was a wonderful restaurant that had an open fire pit at the end of the restaurant. They cooked, they broiled a lot of fish. Does anybody remember that restaurant? And the union, the waiters union, closed it down because the kids weren't members of the union. Does anybody remember that? Nobody. Do you remember that? What was the name of that restaurant? I can't hear you. Is it still there? Is it still there? No. Is there anything like that? Did they ever start up another restaurant? Because it was a brilliant restaurant. They had little ferns for vegetables and wild salmon, and it was like one of the great restaurants. I used to look forward to coming to it when I came to Vancouver, and then I learned one day they had shut it down. Well, what? All right, so somebody tell me what you just said. There's one on Broadway. Broadway in Vancouver? Salmon and Bannock. Okay, I'll have to go there. So, here I am. I don't know how to start. Would you want to, somebody asked me a question, and I'll ramble on and forget what the question was. Hi, way down there. Hi, y'all. I'll try and make sure I pay attention to y'all. Is there a question set up here? Do we have a question set up? Do we have a microphone? We have nothing. Okay. How is space? So, I don't know how many times I've gotten that question while signing autographs, which is I'm doing over there. How is space? So what am I supposed to say? I had this life-changing experience. Don't go away. I had this life-changing experience. I want to tell you about how my life and thought. I mean, what are you going to do? So I've got 2 words for that kind of an answer. What was space like? Incredible. What was space like? Grand. You know, none of that is what I saw. So if you're interested, and I would presume you would be because you're here, let me tell you a little bit about what I did I've got an album out there called Bill right now. 4 people. 4 people screamed, yeah, we heard about it. We didn't buy it, but we heard of it. And two other people, Rob Chernow and Dan Miller. Dan Miller is from, his group is They Might Be Giants. Do you know The Might Be Giants? More people knew there might be giants in my album. So, welcome to Vancouver. So Dan Miller was responsible for the music. Rob Chernow did the lyrics. This is for this album called Bill. And what we did during the height of COVID, each in our places, they were in, Rob was in New York City, and Dan was upstate New York, and I was in Los Angeles, and we worked through Zoom. And the way it happened was that I would tell Rob of some experience. I like the first song that comes to mind in Bill is me leaving Montreal to go to Toronto. I'm leaving home, graduated from McGill, and I'm now leaving home. And I'm going across a bridge. I don't remember what, it might have been the Jacques Cartier Bridge, I don't remember. But I was crossing a bridge in a little dinky car that I had bought in order to get to Toronto. And coming at me was an 18-wheeler, big truck, pushing that air. And I thought, my God, I'm gonna go over the side of the bridge. And I didn't. But from that experience, we extracted a song called The Bridge. And the bridge is all about all of us always going over a bridge in our lifetime, always meeting 18-wheelers coming at us and having to deal with it. A life lesson from a song. And then all the songs in the album Bill are like that. And in fact, we kept writing songs, and I'm now going to appear at the Kennedy Center at the end of April to do 6 of those additional songs, mostly having to do with the environment, because it's Earth Day in April 26, 27, and I'll be at Kennedy Center performing those 6 songs on the April 29th. I'm telling you this because I'm now asked to go in the Blue Origin vehicle. And they asked me because about a year earlier, a friend of mine and I thought it might be a good idea, since Blue Origin kept saying they're going to send a rocket up, and my friend who was a producer said, "Hey, you should go, and you go up." And I'm like, "I don't want to." Yeah, you would. So we called them, and Blue Origin. They said, "Oh, come up to Seattle from Los Angeles and see what have you got to offer." So we went up there and met Jeff Bezos, head of Amazon. And in this huge building, huge lobby about this size, there's all this paraphernalia of Star Trek. I mean, like the Star Trek original ship is under glass in Jeff Bezos' huge building. And there comes Mr. Bezos. And we take pictures, and he's a big Star Trek fan, and we go sit around a long table, and we tell him what our idea is. We'll shoot a documentary, we'll get to that, we'll go up, and he said, well, we'll call you back. And then COVID hit, and the whole thing went into the tubes for about a year. And then I read that Jeff Bezos is going to go up himself. And my friend, the producer, whose name is Josh Ehrlich, Josh says, maybe Bezos will choose you to go with him. And instead, Jeff Bezos chose his brother. And then instead of, he had 4 people, he had 2, he and his brother, he chooses a lady astronaut who never did go up, and he chooses a kid, some youngster who deserved it, I'm sure. I don't know those things. All I know is I'm not going. So they go up. By the way, I saw some footage of them up there. They have cameras in that vehicle. They have cameras all over the place. So I see either one of or the richest man in the world. Floating in weightlessness, his rear end is towards the camera, and his legs are splayed out as he moves around in weightlessness, and the kid is throwing Skittles at his ass. So I thought, well, that's kind of undignified, and since I wasn't going up, I thought, that's certainly awful. Then they go up, they come back down, and Ehrlich says, well, maybe they'll take you on the second one. I'm not going to go up second. That's like getting, in the States, it's like getting the vice president when you expect the president. Or you might get in Canada, get the prime minister when you're expecting the, what's the old guy? What's the, I loused up the whole joke. What's the elder statesman in Canada? The what? It's like getting the prime minister when you expected the governor general. There we go. Okay. That's the Canadian version of that joke. So no, I'm not going to go up. So indeed they call. Would you like to go up? No, thank you very much. It's a lot of trouble. You got to get out of bed and you got to go someplace. And why, and then it's a little fearful. Let me tell you that it isn't like driving down the highway. When you think about, does anybody remember the footage? You wouldn't remember, and I don't. The occasion of the Zeppelin, the Hindenburg burning. Eh? Do you remember that? So those of you who haven't seen that documentary footage in the late 1930s, there was this huge airship filled with hydrogen. Okay, it's filled with hydrogen. It docks. Static electricity goes up the little post and the little tie-off rod goes in, and apparently there was a slow leak of hydrogen way in the back, and the static electricity ignites the hydrogen, which is very flammable, and the whole thing, this giant airship, starts to burn. And there's this announcer, this famous announcer who's going, oh my God, oh, the humanity of it all. And people are running away, and they're trying to get away from this burning airship that's collapsing, all because of the hydrogen in this Zeppelin. What do you think they fill this rocket with? They fill the rocket with hydrogen. How many of you remember the O-ring thing? The rocket, when it was cold, and there's an O-ring, like a rubber, like a gasket between two pieces of the rocket, and the engineers are saying, it's about freezing, and the rubber doesn't hold, and maybe we shouldn't go. And the people who have a schedule to follow said, no, we'll go, it's okay, and they go up, and the thing explodes. And what do you think burns while it's exploding? It's hydrogen. And then all the other accidents. What's the name of the telescope? The Hubble. So the Hubble telescope, billions of dollars being spent on the Hubble, you know what I'm saying, satellite. And they send it up, and they, with glory, and now we're going to take our first view of the Hubble telescope, and it's blurry. You know why it's blurry? Because part of it was made here in America, on the North America. Canada had something to do with it, and they made it with inches. Part of it was made in England, where they used metric. And nobody told anybody that one was metric and one was inch, one was whatever we call it here. They didn't tell each other. You know what that is? That's human error. It's human error. Everything that mankind does is fraught with some idiot who doesn't tell the other guy that this is imperial and this is metric, or whatever I mean, my jaw, when I heard that, all these rocket scientists, you know, when they say, well, that isn't rocket science for something that they're doing. Well, that's not rocket science. I mean, it's like the highest form of intelligence. And they screwed it up because of human error. So going up in a rocket, my dear, is fraught with human error and hydrogen. So now, they said, well, would you like to go on this second trip? And I'm thinking, why would I want to go? I don't need the publicity. It's not going to be publicized anyway. It's a second trip. I mean, when Bezos went up, it didn't get much of a charge. Oh, why would I want to go up and risk myself? I've got a family. I got to support family. I got things to do. I got to go to Vancouver. It's true, I had to come here. So I'm lying in bed in that moment when you wake, just before you wake up or as you're waking up, and all these thoughts, you know, you think, what have I got to do today? And I got to remember to say such and such. And that thought was, why not? It's an adventure. Go up in space. Have weightlessness. See the sky, see the earth. Hey, it's an adventure. So I called and I said, you know, I've changed my mind, I'll go. So now I'm bringing this all together. So now on a Sunday, I'm going to the desert on a Monday. A day early, everybody else is going to get there. All the other people riding in the rocket are going to get there on Tuesday. I'm getting there, but that's going to come Monday. I don't know why, but Sunday night I had to work in New York, and I'm in New York Sunday night, and I meet with Rob Chernow and Dan Miller, and we're talking about our album, and we're talking about the next album, and we decide we're going to write a song about space. And we start making notes. What's space going to be like? And we write notes. Oh yeah, it should be this. And then that next morning, Monday morning, I fly to the desert in Texas, and there's the rocket ship, and I'm saying, you know, hi everybody, nice to see you. Why am I here? Oh, because, you know, just get you used to the thing. Here, have lunch, and we have lunch. And then they drive me out to the place where the rocket is going to stand. The rocket isn't standing at this point, it's lying on its side, being serviced, and hydrogen gas is being put into it. So I keep wondering, why am I here? And then they drive me to the gantry. Now, the desert altitude is about 4,000 feet, about where almost like Colorado, like Denver, where people go when they play football. They go, when the teams that get to play the Broncos in Denver, they're out of breath because it's 5,000 feet. This is 4,000 feet, and the gantry is there. And I keep thinking, why am I here? And they say, let's go up the gantry. No, okay, let's go up the gantry. So I go up 3 flights, and I stop, you know, and I don't want to let on. I'm like, I'm out of breath. So, oh, look how beautiful the desert is. And then I go up another 3 flights, and I get up the 11 flights, and I'm going, yeah. And they say, are you all right? I say, yeah, I'm fine. And then they say, okay, so you see this building over here, this thing on top of the gantry? It's a square, about the size of the stage, with 12-inch thick concrete walls and a big airtight door. And inside the room are these large capsules of oxygen, and there's a direct radio line down. And what have you got this here for? And they said, oh, well, you know, in case something goes wrong. What do you mean? Hydrogen burning? What do you mean? What do you mean? So, well, you know, in case something goes wrong, you run in here, you shut the door, and you're safe. It's a safe. What's going to go wrong? No, nothing's going to go wrong. So I'm up in this gantry, and I step off and look out down there. There's nothing there, and we go back down. And I keep thinking, why am I here? And all of a sudden it occurs to me, they're checking out whether I can make it up the 11 flights. Then we practiced for 2 days. Getting in a chair is like, they've made a chair that is, you're lying down, most of you. Just a bit of you sitting up, but it's mostly lying down. And you practice for hours. There's a 5-point harness, shoulder, shoulder, waist, waist, and crotch. So you practice, you're in weightlessness. You get the harness on this shoulder, you get into the, and now you're weightless. There's a little perimeter there where you can hook your toes, so you hook your toes because what you'll probably be doing is floating in the air. So now you hook your toes in it, and you lie down flat, and you get this waist strap, and you put it into the 5-point harness. Then you get this shoulder strap, you put it in the 5-point harness. Then you get this, you put it in the 5. Then, now you're lying flat, and you reach down to get the crotch strap. Now, those of you who don't know what a 5-point harness is, it's about that big with 5 holes in it. Block, 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 block. But when you're lying down like this, you can't find the hole for the crotch strap. Okay? So I spent 2 days trying to find the hole in the crotch strap because they said that's the most important, because you could be going like this and weightlessness, so you got to get that crotch strap, and I can't find the hole in the thing. Besides, my mind is thinking, hydrogen, hydrogen. Finally, the day, and we go up the gantry and we get into the space vehicle. I love to say that. We get into the space vehicle, and we lie down, and the voice comes over the loudspeaker. Okay, everybody, good. We're going to start the countdown now. And I don't know about anybody else because I never assessed anybody else. I've done a lot of dangerous things in my life. I've done rapids with a kayak, and I didn't know how to kayak. A kayak needs an Eskimo roll because the kayak, as fast as the skiers among you know, as fast as you fall when skiing, that's how fast a kayak rolls over in a blink of an eye. Faster than a blink of an eye. Suddenly you're underwater. So you're underwater upside down, you got to stick your paddle up there and roll back up. It's called an Eskimo roll. So when you get used to it, it's instinctively, and you're back up. I wasn't used to it, and I was down ultimately 5 points. I've hunted in the time, years and years ago when hunting was acceptable, with a bow and arrow. I've stood beside grizzly bears. I mean, I've done open air aerobatics with an open air a biplane, a pit special it's called. I mean, I put myself in danger a lot. It's a thrill, you know, because in my philosophy, only the stuntman gets hurt. Actors don't get hurt. It's if something dangerous, the stuntman do it. I was near here. There's a place called Moses Lake, just south of the border. Does anybody know the Moses Lake? So, yeah, same person who bought my album. So I'm riding a motorcycle and gonna do the stunt, leap off a dune. You guys said, no, let the stuntman do it. Well, okay. So the stuntman, I drive up to the dune, put the stuntman on, the stuntman takes a leap and goes, and he does the stunt, lands on the sand in Moses Lake, because it's all sand dunes, and he breaks his back. Stuntman got hurt, not the actor. So I never think about getting hurt. If I'm doing something, I think, nah, I'm untouchable. Because if it was really dangerous, we'd have a stuntman do it, no matter what it was. So I'm lying there, listening to the countdown, and the guy says, 15, hold on, hold the count. There's an anomaly in the countdown. Anomaly? What's an anomaly? Well, an anomaly is something's not right. It's outside the common knowledge. Something's happened on the countdown. There's an anomaly. Is it hydrogen? Is it hydrogen? No, I don't know. They begin the count. Okay, we whatever it was is gone, and we're continuing. And then the voice says, if any of you want to leave the spaceship now, now's the time, because we're pulling the gantry away, and if you can't leave, there's nothing to leave, you can't get out when the gantry goes. So anybody wants to say, I'm out of here, please get out of here now. And I'm thinking, I can't do that, I'm Captain Kirk. So I don't go. And I see the gantry pull away through a window. And, oh, Lordy Lord, this is my last chance. And now the thing fires off and up we go. And we're now into, there's an instrument. I'm lying like this, and there's an instrument there giving you all the readouts. And there's a G counter, a G-force counter. And there's one G at sea level. And then as you rise up, as the forces of gravity, you can see this G-force thing, and now there's 2 Gs. I had 2 Gs, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna try and raise my arm. At 2 Gs, I can barely raise my arm. Thing goes to 3 Gs, 4 Gs on the way up. Okay, we're at 4 Gs, and suddenly, we're past the Kármán line and into space, and we're in weightlessness. And someone says, we're weightless. We hit the 5-point harness, and we're weightless. I see the others like, hey, we're in the thing, and I don't want to do that because I want to see what's outside the window.